I'm streaming live from the phone because I cannot connect. So I'm trying to share it with everyone so that can anyone paste this link of this stream in that chat so that others also know, and then I'll start. Because I'm doing it from my phone, there are some issues, so I will fix it later. I'll just do it with the phone. I don't want to waste time. Already I wasted like 15 minutes. Can anyone please share that with in the other chat so that everyone comes there? Hello. I also shared in that chat, so I'll start now. I'm very sorry because of the quality that was on the phone. So the streaming software did not work. I don't know why. I will try to fix it later. So let's start with it. How many of you are coming this time this year, like in September? Can you please comment here? How many of you are coming in September? I'm just trying to type the new link. You can start typing your questions if you have any questions about the education system and studying in Netherlands. I will try to address some general things, and then you can like ask any questions you want. So before I move to the questions, try to keep it to the study and education. Don't ask other questions. And if you have other questions related to other type of things that you should bring or you should not bring, then I will try to answer that at the end of the video if I have sufficient time. Probably I will have 1 hour. Let me see, because I have already wasted like 15 minutes in setting up this stream. It was my fault. I'm very sorry for it. So okay, I will just say a few lines. So the thing is that here the education is completely different as compared to India. If you compare it with India, then the main difference, I think I've said that in many videos, that they have this yeah, what Gokula said, that is all right. That is true that they have a quarterly system. So you don't have a semester system, you have a quarterly system. Each quarter you are supposed to take 15 ECTS. ECTS is like, it defines your workload and the amount of hours you should give to finish that subject. So if you have suppose like 15 ECTS, it means like on an average each course will have like 5 ECTS. So you need to take at least like 3 courses in each quarter, and a quarter will be like approximately 2.5 hours. So I would say like it's like hello. So I would say like it becomes difficult because of the quarterly system, because in the quarterly system you need to be focused for that particular quarter, and you have a lot higher workload even though you don't have exams, because most of the subjects don't have exams. It varies from faculty to faculty. So especially in computer science and 3ME, we didn't have that much exams. Instead of that, we had like daily assignments or group projects. And only thing, can anyone confirm that whatever I'm speaking now you are able to hear me, right? Because I'm doing it from my phone, so the audio quality will be really bad. Okay, thank you. Because I was trying to see it in my laptop to answer your questions, and I cannot I was not sure whether I was speaking properly. from the next time, I promise I will set up that live stream where I had a lot of other things I could have shown you, like PPT and other things, but I cannot do it now. So I'll just continue what I have now. Yeah, so getting back to the quarterly system, so that gives you a lot of workload because of these internships and other kind of things, like the subjects that you need to take each quarter. And apart from that, you can try to take more subjects. So for example, you need to do 15 ECTS. If you try to do 20 ECTS, maybe from second or third quarter, when you get acquainted with the education system here, then you can try to finish, like for example, in my case, I try to finish 75 ECTS in the first year itself. So if you take the ideal example, you should finish 60, but I was able to finish 75. So I would say like that, in that sense, the quarterly system is bit tricky, and it also helps you to divide your work within a very short time frame. And apart from that, I think I have mentioned about the industrial thesis in some videos. So I will come back to the questions in like 2 or 3 minutes. Before that, I just want to say one more thing, like the industrial thesis. I think in the industrial thesis, I mentioned that you can be able to earn some money, like mostly people who don't want to do a PhD, it is 100% advice that you should choose the industrial thesis option if you want to work later, because that will help you a lot to like also get acquainted with the companies and also earn some money. And apart from that, you can also like form your contacts while doing that period of thesis, which is almost like 9 months at minimum, and it can be more depending on the number of ECTS, because we had like 45 ECTS and most faculties have 45 or 40 ECTS of industrial thesis. So in that sense, that helps a lot. Maybe I will go back to the questions, and in the questions I'll find something if I remember what I had to say. Okay, let me see. First question. My graduation, Mohammed Sarib is saying my graduation will complete in June 2020. Please suggest. So one short thing I can say, you can look at different universities in the Nuffic Nesso or the Study in Holland. They have a website, or maybe in different university websites. You can find a lot of programs, but funding is very rare. I would just want to caution you, because getting a funding in Netherlands is not that easy. So there are very limited funding, so that is why it is not easy. So if you apply, there are some funding for different country specific funding, which varies from country to country, which is also limited. And there is something called Holland scholarship, which is around 5,000 euro. It was 2 years back. I don't remember how much is it. You can Google it. And that is also again limited. It only gives you 5,000 euro, which is very less. And there is something called full scholarship, which some universities have, but it is very limited. So each faculty will have like 2 or 3 full scholarships, which is really difficult to get, like sustain yourself. Okay, let me see if I see all the chats. I'm not sure. I think I see all the chats. Okay. Balaji is saying I am also in your group. I don't understand. Maybe do you mean the Facebook group? Maybe. So people who are watching it later, it is just for a reference that initially I just said something about the ECTS and the study load, and then I start about the Q&A, mostly people who are coming now or maybe coming in future. So I am coming this September. Bansi, congratulations. Pranav, yeah, I have talked with you a lot. Coming in 3-4 days. You are coming to 20, right? You will find a lot of friends from 20 already, and you can also discover more in this channel, because whatever I have heard, more people are coming from 20. I mean, most of the people are coming to 20. Balaji is coming in September. I'll be in Netherlands next week. I mean, now you will see the typical Dutch weather for all of you. I'm just letting you know. Like you will see this, what do you say, the rains and the sun. So it fluctuates very fast. So in 1 hour it will be raining and immediately it will start to be sunny, and in the next 5 minutes it will be rain. So this continues this August and September. It's not that hot, it's around 20 degrees, but still the weather is very random. Try to have a light jacket which has like some rain protection. What is the next question? Okay, so Bhargavi is saying that LLM, I think she contacted before. So there are a lot of options for LLM. I think I asked you to look in LinkedIn because I don't know about every field. Like if someone asks me for MBA or MBBS or these kind of things, my background is not in every field, but that's why I try to bring people to do some interviews so that you can know from varied backgrounds. But there is certainly a lot of options, because one of my colleague who is from Russia, she is doing her PhD. I think she is now in her third or final year in our university along with us, and she has a background in LLM, like I don't know the exact term, but that is some law degree she studied in Maastricht, and then she is doing PhD, but it has some relation. So whatever she is doing now in PhD is something related to ethics and privacy, but that has some link of her masters where she studied something on law. So they have some link. So that is the only thing that I know from my background about law. And other things, I would say LinkedIn is like a god. I will make a separate video on that, why and how you can utilize LinkedIn to your maximum advantage. Are paid internships rare? Pranav is asking for CSE. It depends. So in TU Delft, the internship, which is like 15 ECTS or 3 months normally, was not mandatory. So when internship is not mandatory, then getting an internship in a company for any faculty, any university, is difficult, because when it is mandatory you don't need a work visa. But if it is not mandatory, I have mentioned that I think in the part-time video about it in details. So if it is not mandatory, then the companies need to sponsor a visa for a very short term, that is 3 months or 4 months. They won't be that much willing to do it unless they have a proper reason, because they don't want to pay the work visa money for you for that short term, which is really expensive for them. So what is the next one? Balaji, can you briefly explain? So this is where I started my video about the quarterly system. Yeah, after the stream finishes, you can go to the first part, you can know about the quarterly system in Netherlands. I've already explained in details. Do you suggest taking notes in pen paper or using digital methods? So that varies from person to person. Like in my case, I always prefer to take digital notes, but when I was preparing for exams, then I was always trying to like write them on some paper, because sometimes I feel like when you are preparing for exams or trying to verbalize some things, then it helps a lot when you are writing something down. It tries to like create an imprint in your memory. That's what my method was. But I think certainly this thing varies from student to student, so I cannot comment a general thing, but I would say digital helps when someone is teaching fast. And they also share all the slides, because most of the teaching is based on a slide based approach. So I mean, based on the research papers or the current thing that is happening, they most often don't follow books are just for references, and in some faculties without books also you can survive. So it depends. Om is saying, what is the motivation of people who are tuition fee pursuing MS in Netherlands? That is a very genuine question. Where the tuition fees is as high as this as compared to Germany. I don't know about France, but Germany it is true, because Germany 90 or 99% of the universities, they don't charge any tuition fees. So I think I have written about this in Quora. You may not agree with me 100%, but that is what my conclusion is. If you have a really financial problem, because most people have who come from that background, international background, non-European background, then you will definitely choose something which has low or zero tuition fees like Germany or some places. But if you don't have that finance issue, then I would recommend you to come to Netherlands. The only reason being the language. I don't know if anyone studying in Germany is watching this video. They can comment more. I have also made some videos I will release about studying in Germany. I have made already like 8 videos. I will release it soon. So the thing is that it uh, depends on the sorry, I got a LinkedIn message, so I was diverted. So because of the language only, I can say you can come to Netherlands. That is the only motivation, that English here is like 99 or 99.9% of the people speak English, and language is never a issue in Netherlands. That is completely opposite when you enter Germany. Even when I go to Aachen is like I would say like it is how far, like 20 kilometers from my place, and I face the language issue. And when you go to interior of Germany, depending on the region you go, you will see what is the problem. So what is the next question? Vivek is asking, what is your opinion? So I have heard about some people who studied from India. I don't know them personally, but I have heard that there are some people who are studying in automobile. I think they were from SRM. They studied in SRM. If you type in LinkedIn, you'll find them. So they studied in SRM University in India in Chennai, I think, and then they studied in Han University of Applied Science in Ottawa. So the thing is that applied science is not bad. Even if you don't go to a research university, if you go to applied science, you have a plenty good chances of getting a job. I mean, especially for jobs, it is really advisable to go for applied science university. It's not bad. And again, I'm sorry for people who are joining late that this video will also be shaking because I'm holding the phone in my hand. I didn't expect to do it by phone, but I had to do it at the last resort. Shiba is saying, how long before should one start applying for internships in Netherlands? I am asking for an undergraduate. So Shiba, maybe I will try to reply you later, because I know in general, which is mostly for masters, like how long before you should apply for the internships. I don't know about undergraduate, if you mean undergraduate like bachelors. So for masters, I would say towards the end of your first year, you should try to make some contacts and start looking for internships if you have a mandatory internship in your faculty. Normally people do it in the beginning of second year or towards the end of second year, but I would advise you to do it in the beginning of second year and simultaneously start the thesis in parallel. So suppose you have like 120 ECTS if you are doing masters. Yeah, I understand you are asking for bachelors, but I don't know it, so I'll reply you later. But I'm talking about masters because it will help also others. Then try to finish 60 ECTS in the first year or maybe more, and in the next year you will have like suppose 45 ECTS of thesis and 15 ECTS of uh, internships. Then try to do the 15 ECTS and at the same time start the thesis. Otherwise, I have heard a lot of times thesis gets extended, and try to pay attention to this because extension of a thesis is a very common thing. It's not a rare thing, and that will affect you a lot, because then you will have problem of paying extra money for whatever may be the reason. Which bank account is best? Which bank account? I think I mentioned about that in the video. The studying in Netherlands. No, I don't remember the name, but there was a video where I mentioned about the things that you need to do as an international to establish for the first time. So there are three major banks: ABN AMRO, ING, and Rabobank. And I would advise you to have a ING account if you want a long-term prospect, because they have a lot of long-term benefits when you take loans or you deal with them for other kind of credit card and other things. But for a beginner, for that is the bank where they mostly do everything in Dutch. So for an international, considering the language, even though the offers are not advantageous, I would advise you to go for ABN AMRO for an international who doesn't speak any Dutch. So in that sense, ABN AMRO is good. Otherwise, choose ING. And Rabobank, I don't think is that popular. These are the three. I think someone asked about the SIM card. I don't know. Maybe I missed it, or I don't know. So I think I mentioned about this in the video. Like, if you need a SIM card, then I would say go for Lebara. Lebara is very good SIM card because you can get it for free. I mean, you can get almost every SIM card for free. So it gives you like, I think you can order it online, and if you have a valid Dutch address, then it will reach you in 2 or 3 days, or maybe in 48 hours, and then you can activate it without any documents like that you have in India if you are watching from India or any place. So you don't have that issue of verifying and other things. You just need to have it in your address, and then you call a number, and then it's immediately activated. Other SIMs you can choose like Vodafone or KPN, which is very popular here, but they're expensive. So Lebara is like a shortcut which also works all over Europe in Schengen. I will answer you later, Shiba. I'm very sorry because I don't know about bachelors, but I mean when you should apply for the internships. Yes, Om, right. Thank you for the information, because Lebara is really like, it's like a mobile SIM, so it works. It is a UK, mostly it is famous in UK, but it works all over the Schengen. Okay, so I think there are how intensive, yeah, that is what I was going to discuss now, because I also made a notes which was supposed to be covered, but I could not do the stream via my laptop. How intensive, how many hours? Okay, that's a very good question. That is what I was going to say now only. Thank you for reminding me. So in that I will also cover about the thesis, which I said just now, about the timely completion of the thesis. So first, about the intensive. So that thing is again like, what information I'm going to give you now will be mostly limited to my experience in computer science. So it will vary from, but I know some of my friends who are in 3ME and microelectronics, I think. That is what I know till now. It is certainly intensive. What is his name? Srinath. Okay, Srinath. Good question. Thank you for asking it at the perfect time when I was about to say it by referring to my notes. So it is really intensive. That is a very difficult to like say it in words, like how intensive is it. But the thing is that you can expect, like as I said before, if you missed the beginning about the ECTS, when I was saying the quarterly system, which also increases the load, that you have daily assignments. Sometimes you have like in a week you have to submit one assignment. So submitting an assignment 1 week will maximum, you will need to go through the slides again, attend the lectures. So in terms of hours, I would say you have to spend like 10-12 hours or maybe more. So you can consider like a day, each day the amount of hours you spend. So considering that, it will be like 1 day or 1.5 days, depending on the amount of time you spend each day for studying, 50% or whatever. So in that sense, if you get every week assignment, then it is already, you can imagine, like if you take out Saturday and Sunday, which is also not always the case, because people try to party in the weekends. That is the culture here, like they have a very good work-life balance, but I don't think it is true for every international. In the beginning, I think you need to work hard to get used to this system, because you have these daily assignments, and then also you will have group projects. At that time it becomes a lot trickier when you choose the group, like the members you need to be in the group, like what is the group size, group composition, and how you divide the work, and how long is the project, because some courses, you should remember, some courses also continue for 2 quarters. So that 5 ECTS course will be continuing for 2 quarters. That is also possible. So in that way they divide the work. They say it is 5 ECTS, but on paper it is 5 ECTS, but I would say it has a lot of more work to do, because it is for 2 quarters. So that thing also you need to keep in mind when you choose your courses, like the course load, and also the distribution of the course, like how much is the course going on, is there something in parallel. Like suppose in computer science, if you take machine learning, if you take pattern recognition at the same time, then you are in big trouble. Like I think it is super unachievable. So there will be some type of combinations like this when you go through the course structure of any faculty or any university. So in that sense, you need to decide. That will decide also the intensive, how intensive is it. Like you will see in the course structure whether they have daily assignments, group projects, or exams. So sometimes exams are easy. Sometimes I prefer that if you don't have exams, then it is easier to I mean, in that sense, you don't have that fear that you are going to fail. That is what I felt. I liked courses which don't have exams and they have these assignments, although I need to work hard regularly, but still I find it easier to get good grades, even though they have these daily assignments and a lot of work. So hours, I think I gave you an example about the hours. So depending on that, you need, but I would say like attendance is very optional, but I would advise you not to miss any lecture, because most of the times they exams, if courses have exams or any assignments, it is always lecture oriented. Like it is not based on any books, or they just don't want to see you cram up something as we were doing in India. I don't know about every university, but that is what it is. And apart from that, I think I missed one thing. What did I miss? I don't know if I was able to answer your question, but that is what I can say. I wanted to cover this in details, that's why I gave so much time for this. Yeah, the timely completion of the thesis. So I have said this many times in some Skype videos, and this is a big advice from my side to people who are coming now or maybe coming in future, that try to decide the research group that you will be going for from the first year itself. Don't wait till the time you start your thesis. So every faculty has some research groups, like the topic or the focus of the research that you are going to do in your thesis. So if you have a plan of working, like doing a job later after you finish your masters, then I would say like don't focus too much on the research element, although you need to do it, but still you need to decide your research group. In my case, like I tried to decide the group even from first or second quarter itself. So how does it help is that it will give you an idea like what type of research is going in that group, and you can immediately contact some professors or some PhDs or some postdocs, because they also sometimes supervise you during your thesis. And those people I have seen generally complete their thesis in time. Otherwise, I have seen people who have a lot of problems in completing the thesis in time, and that is like really difficult, because you are paying already, like I think now it's not 15,000, now the fees have increased. For technical courses it's around 17 or 18,000 euro, and if you are paying like 18,000 and you are something is extended, I think that's a really pain in the, like very difficult for you to survive. Let's see if I got any more questions. No more questions. Let me see, did I miss anything? Yeah, so in Quora, I think I've answered a lot of times. I cannot show it now because my plan was to show it in the laptop. So there is a Quora blog. If you go to my Quora profile, which is tagged in the YouTube channel, I have answered a lot of questions, and in that you can find the like a short blog. There's a space. They have now converted that blog to a Quora space, and in that space you can see the structure of all these videos. So I have made it a structure to give you like a brief idea, to some about housing, some about shopping. So it covers everything about studying and living in Netherlands, something in brief. And I've tried to structure all these videos because now there are already 130 videos and it's difficult to browse through, and there are also playlists in the channel. Apart from that, you can also follow the blog in the SambitPhD.com. That is my website. That is also tagged in the YouTube channel. So there you can find, sometimes now I'm writing something. Suppose I'm explaining something about part-time jobs or finding a house. then I'm trying to write it there and trying to explain it to you so that you can go back, and if you don't want to watch the video again and again, you can read through it and you can understand what I'm saying. Apart from that, did I miss any question? I think I don't see any more questions, so I think people are satisfied by now. There are already 11 people watching, but there are no more questions. It's sorry, the phone fell down. Chandan is asking best way to carry money in Netherlands in debit card, forex card, or cash. I think I answered this already. There is something called Carrying to Netherlands. There is a video about what you should carry to Netherlands. You should check that video, and there you'll find all the information. You should use a travel card or forex card, whatever you call it. If you're coming from India, then use a SBI travel card, that gives you everything. And try to use Master or Visa card. Don't use those American Express and other cards. Normally they don't work in every place, and most places here accept digital currencies, so it should work. So let me see if I miss anything. In the meantime, if anyone, because I see already 11 people watching, so if you want to ask any more questions. Okay, Rishabh is saying thank you Sambit for whatever you are doing for the community. You are welcome, but I mean personally I didn't want to stream it like this, but I had to do it. Next time I'll check it, because I've said it again and again. I set up my I had this new I don't know if you can see it, this new microphone and the laptop, and everything was set up, but the streaming service did not work at the end. Maybe it was some of my fault. I should have tried it before. Anyways, IP. Yeah, so I don't know about other universities. If you know, you can comment here. There is something called IP. If you are coming for the first time to Netherlands, then you have this. I don't know if it happens in every university. In TU Delft, we had it. Something called introduction program. So if you have that introduction program, where you get to know your colleagues or students who are studying with you, and you get to meet them, and you have some coaches, so they are like seniors who will be assisting you in that function. And for 10 days, or it's like 1 week or 2 week program, and they get to know the whole city, the IKEA and other shops and other things. And they will also give you some food, make you aware of the Dutch culture. Maybe you will have some dinner with some Dutch families. So this happens during the introduction program, and sometimes you get free sunglasses, free introduction box, some kind of box where you come to know like what things you can get, like some ready-made food items and these kind of things. So I don't know if you have the introduction program. You can comment here if you all have the introduction program in your universities, like 20 or all. I don't know if you, I think they might be having something, but I don't know. And I have mentioned about in the master's video, there is something called master's kickoff, where so you have the point I'm trying to make to make it a general sense is that there are different kind of introduction activities in different universities and different faculties, and these are mostly done to get you acquainted with all these things, so that you have that icebreaker moment where you get to know your colleagues, peers and other people. And if you have any more questions, you can leave them in the comments. If you don't remember it now, even though it is not in the live chat, it is fine. You can leave them in the comments of the video, and I'll try to answer them. And please like this video, share this video, so that it will gain some visibility and also give me motivation to help you like this, because I have said this many times, I'm doing a PhD, so I don't have that much time, but still I try to make these things so that people will uh, get some. And by the way, I don't know, now there are only 11 people watching. You can comment here if you want to have a meetup, like short meetup, because I cannot say everything in the video. If you guys want to have a meetup, we can arrange something. People who are coming now, like uh, in September, maybe 3, 4, 5, I don't care. So if you want to have a meetup, because frequently I go to Delft and other universities because we collaborate together for my research. So I live in Valkenburg, Chandan. I live in Valkenburg. Valkenburg is like 10 kilometers from Maastricht, in the south of Netherlands. But from Delft, it's can be like very far. So there's only one person, Chandan, who is interested for a meetup. I hope more people are willing to meet, but I don't know, maybe people don't want to invade their privacy. It's fine. So Srinath is asking like how many days are required to open a bank account in ABN AMRO. So during my time, it was arranged by TU Delft, the university itself. So I think in our case it took like 3 weeks, something like that. But anyway, even if your university is organizing or you do it yourself, I would advise you to keep in your mind, in the worst case, like 1 month or even more. It won't be 1 month, that is a lot of time. Try to have in your mind that I will have 1 month or 3 weeks, and accordingly arrange the cash or the travel card money so that you can sustain yourself for that time when you arrive initially and you don't have the bank account. So always try to consider the worst so that you don't have issues running into. So now I see 2 people are interested for the meetup, and I don't. Anyways, anyone who is interested for the meetup can also comment below. And is there any more questions? Otherwise, I will shut it down maybe in 5 minutes. I don't know. It depends on you. Like I'm available till 10 or 15 minutes, but if you don't have any more questions, because now I have already answered something about study, so you can ask any questions if you have, like about bringing something, or should I buy something, or which kind of shop I should. Any general question also is welcome now. Is it worth for giving a try for summer or spring? Deepak is asking that should I come for summer or spring semester in 2020. Summer semester, the thing is, there is also in TU Delft, I didn't know about this, there is something called a IP spring program. So every university in Netherlands also have a spring intake, just like US. So but the thing is that it is welcome, but it is, I would not advise you, because they have limited seats during spring as compared to fall. So you have lesser chance of getting an admit. But whatever I have experienced is that getting an admit in TU Delft is very easy, but surviving in TU Delft or any university in Netherlands is difficult as compared to getting an admit. So you will get admit easily, but then that is your responsibility to properly manage the time and just do something creative. Like it's very difficult, but how is University of so Sapna is asking how is University of Groningen. That is very difficult for me to pronounce because in Dutch they say it something else. Computer science. So I personally don't know anyone, but only one of my colleague who was from China. He is now doing PhD with me in Open University, and he did his masters in Groningen, and there he was, I think he was doing the course something related to AI. I'm not sure exactly the name of the course, but I have heard from him that it is really good in, especially if you are looking for something in AI, artificial intelligence, or NLP, like natural language processing. If you go deep into the computer science, like these are the different facets, then it is really good. That's what I've heard from him. If you're looking for NLP, AI, or text analytics or something like that. But I don't know about other computer science fields like graphics or something like that. So in that sense, it is really good. Only thing I think you would find, like, it has a very good campus and everything is good. Only one thing you would find is that the university is, I mean, the location is like towards the north, very much towards the north. So it's not isolated, I would say. In that sense, 20 is also isolated, like the place where it is. I mean, where I'm living now is also isolated, if you call like that. But Netherlands is too small a country to call any place isolated. You can easily travel between different parts, and it is even smaller than a state in India. Like if you compare the size of Netherlands, so in that sense, it's okay. I mean, you can choose that university. That is my final take on that. And okay, so we have 5 more minutes if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, we'll close it off. And best of luck for everyone who is coming in 2018. And if more people are interested for the meetup, because till now I see only two, Rohan and Chandan, then I will. Okay. Embedded systems, during my time, lot of Indians studied embedded systems in which university? In TU Delft. So when I was studying in TU Delft, lot of people studied embedded systems, and we had I mean, there was a lot of opportunities, because when you are doing industrial thesis in embedded systems, you can work in some medical centers depending on your work, obviously, because they were designing some kind of chip for the deep learning infrastructure or something, and they were involved in some Leiden medical center, because Netherlands is so small, so you have a lot of interdisciplinary collaborations. So in embedded systems, I would say TU Delft and TU Eindhoven. That's what I've heard from people, because I was in computer science. Is good in that area. And I think I forgot the name. Maybe it was University Amsterdam. That was also, I've heard from people. I'm not sure exactly, but these are the two universities, Eindhoven and TU Delft, which are really good. But yeah, that's what I can say. Do the industries or companies prefer students for their thesis who speak Dutch, or is it more open? Okay, so this question I think many have asked before also, not exactly the same, but so speaking about this, Om, it's that when you work, as I say always, that here language is not a issue, but still while working, depending on the companies that you are applying for, there are 5 or 10% of the companies, maybe local companies, mostly it is local companies or startups, they will prefer you to have certain level of Dutch, but that is only when you apply for jobs. But when you apply for the thesis, I mean industrial thesis or internships, I have never heard any single case which is in Dutch, because all the masters are in English. So you cannot do a partial English and partial Dutch master. So you are supposed to do your research and the writing of the thesis and everything in English. So that is the reason why industries and companies cannot force you to or cannot choose to have a Dutch element in that when they give you a thesis. So there is no question for that. That is only in English. But during jobs, you have some considerations sometimes. So in that sense, it is an open scenario. I think I had also some notes. Yeah. I think someone asked a lot of the times about time management. I don't remember. I think there was someone called Edwin. He asked something. I don't know if he's there. Edwin, if you are there in the chat, then you can comment here. I don't know if you are in the chat. Let me see my community page. He commented something in the about the thesis workload and something like that. I don't remember. What was the question? Is Edwin? I don't think he's here. What is the education? That is already covered. What is, okay, he asked something that I made a note also to mention. What is the method of teaching for master's degree? I think I've said this many times before. So most of the times they give a lecture in the like in a presentation, like a slides. They bring slides and they teach you, and 99% of the time they don't ask you to read any book are just for references. And these courses, the way it is framed in most faculties, is like they base it on different research papers that they have in previous years. They try to compile those previous publication and try to make the course. Suppose they have a publication or an algorithm, whatever I'm speaking is mostly in computer science language, but it is true for most faculties that they design the course on the latest publications or maybe something in the R&D or something like that. So it does not mean that you do only research, but you also learn how to apply it if you are going for jobs. How long? I don't know if Edwin you're watching it. I'm just answering your questions. How long is a master's degree spent in his time? I have already answered that. That's like 2 years. But if your thesis is extended, it can go really long. So try not to extend your thesis. How is the, so there is no relationship between the international students and the local staffs, because every work is done online, like a digital format. So it's not like India that you need to deal with clerks or some kind of staff of your university to get a certificate or something like that. So that there is no question for that. I think Vargavi, I don't know if I answered her correctly. Like, she also had a question that can I get a PhD in law? So if I, as per my Russian colleague, the example that I gave, you can obviously do a PhD in law, but it may not be exactly in law. It can be in some side domains like the ethics and privacy that I mentioned. Because recently there is a regulation in Europe. I don't know how many of you know about it. Once you stay here, you'll know. It's called GDPR, General Data Privacy Law. So according to that, Facebook and other kind of websites cannot store your data. Suppose you are browsing an Indian or US website from Europe, then you need to give them consent. So you own your own data and you cannot allow them, so they need your permission to save your data. They cannot save your data just like they were doing before, like just downloading a cookies or saving cookies and trying to track your activity and these kind of things. Srinath asked, probably this will be the last question, or I'll have more, I don't know. I'll see if I get more questions. I don't want to cut it off. I mean, obviously I want to cut it off, but I don't want to lose some people, not because I'm not getting too much of people. Does this research publication based teaching make exams difficult? I would say that you need to, it makes it difficult, but I would not say it is difficult, but it's different. So it makes it different in the sense that once you get used to this, you can know how to understand the concepts and apply them. And by the way, just to note that there are many courses which have this kind of structure and they try to have an open book exam. So in that sense, you can imagine what is the use of the book, and so they are almost useless, because books are just like, if you want to refer them later, then they are useful. But for the so I would say it's not difficult, but it's different. So that's the reason why you should attend those lectures, so that you don't, so attendance is always optional, it's not mandatory, but you should attend them if you want to get a hang of what is going on. And one thing I missed, that most universities record their lectures. So if you are not attending the lecture, then you can see those recordings, but you need to make sure that that course is recorded. So there are some courses which are not recorded. It depends on that professor, what he's doing. Professor is like a supreme in every course and thesis and everything. So you need to ask them beforehand if you miss something or something is overlapping some other. Sometimes you have chosen one course and the other course is overlapping that course, because you need to choose those things. The thing is, you have a lot of choices. It is very flexible, but it has its two sides. So if it is very flexible, then it brings you into the picture. Like, you need to make wise choices, otherwise you will run into real serious issues of elongating your thesis or elongation of your masters or something like that. Or it in the way it also benefits you, that you can take a decision of your own what is happening with you. So again, ending the video, anyone who wants to have a meetup, you can comment below in the comment section. And I'm very sorry for people who were waiting from 3 from the beginning, that I did not I was not able to stream it. I had some issues. What can I do? I will try to fix it later, so that I'll have a proper stream where you don't want to have watch this horrible shaking video which I'm showing you now in my phone, which I never wanted, having 3 cameras. So till next time, bye bye. I think I'll stop it. And people who are coming for the first time, you can rewatch the video, and don't forget to like the video and share among your friends. If you have any more questions, just put them in the comments. Bye bye.